2 months after their first meeting in the Windy City, we join you this evening from High Point, North Carolina, to present Episode 2 of Carolina Core versus Chicago Fire FC2 in MLS Next Pro this season. The Fire are coming in hot after handing Crown Legacy their first loss of the season, and for the Foxes, the addition of super striker Arnaud Tatsouvin has brought life to the last place core. Over the next 90 minutes, these young stars will wage war between the white lines, but first, we meet our starting lineups. And when we look at these starting 11s for both teams, we'll start here with Carolina Core FC. Keep an eye on the back lines. Carolina Core forced into 2 changes for this match. One of those is at center back, where they will be without Nolan Evers, typical starter in that left center back spot, but he is suspended with a red card that he picked up against Huntsville. So Mohamed Diakite, usually seen as a midfielder, drops into center back, where he does have the size and experience at 6'4" to hold down that position alongside Santiago Yepes. Now let's check out the Chicago Fire FC starting lineup, because they've also had to make some changes in the back. And for them, it's Hugo Berg sliding into the center back spot. The first team for Chicago in action as we speak against CF Montreal, and Jack Sandmeyer, the typical center back for the Fire in MLS Next Pro this season, is with the first team. So Berg comes into center back, and it's Emiliano Chavez taking Berg's spot at left back and making his first professional start. Teenagers all up and down the lineup for Mike Matkovich, and that is nothing new for Chicago Fire FC2. 2 wins in their 9 matches this season, and they have scored 10 goals. Leading scorer is the starting striker in Dean Boltz. He has 2, and no other player has scored more than 1. It's a very balanced attack ahead of those back 4 and the 2 holding midfielders. You'll see lots and lots of interchange among the front 4 as they try to make things happen in the final third. Chicago will be in the white and the light blue hoops, and for Carolina Core, they show up in burgundy here at home at Truist Point Stadium. A touch over 82 degrees, nice and breezy, a beautiful evening for some soccer, and we're so glad that you've joined us here in High Point on MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. September 13th, 2025 was a long time ago, making Carolina Core's last win feel far, far away. But there's a new hope in the air as Chicago comes to town for Star Wars night at Truist Park, with the Foxes hungry for their first W of 2026. Parker Johnson here with you on MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. So happy you've joined us for the second meeting of the season. First time Carolina and Chicago played, it was in the Windy City, and the conditions fit the bill. It was cold. The wind played a big factor in that match as the teams sort of traded spells where they would be on top of things, and the team with the wind in their face had big struggles. Both teams, in the end, came away from 90 minutes scoreless, but Chicago was able to earn the shootout victory and the 2 points in that first meeting. Chicago undefeated all time against Carolina Core in their previous 3 meetings. But for the Foxes, it's work to do this season. They've scored 10 goals, same as Chicago, but the issues have been more so on the defensive side. They've allowed 19 in their 9 matches, more than 2 per match, and they just haven't been able to find that consistency with a much new roster compared to what it was last year. The first 2 seasons, the group staying very consistent, but it's been new faces this year as they continue to try to click and find chemistry, but whether it's through injuries, red cards like today, they've had issues. Sumo breaking into the box, looking dangerous, and he's told to get up by the referee, but nice inroads up the right side from the Liberian forward, and a positive start here from Carolina Core FC. Mehdi Zerkan was the other change in the lineup. We highlighted the swaps at the back for both teams, but Zerkan will be a very welcome presence in midfield. He makes his 6th start of the season, his first appearance since April 25th against Crown Legacy, which was a game where Carolina Core did pick up 2 points against one of the best teams in MLS Next Pro. One of those games where they started to build some confidence before recent setbacks like the one against Huntsville last time out when they lost 3-0 in that match. Having Zircon will definitely help. A full Algerian international, born in France with experience at the highest level in France with Bordeaux. Brings a calm and experience to the midfield that is much needed. Poor pass out of the back from Berg. Intercepted by Carolina. Rainbolt moves it on for Tatuvant. Trying to create space. He does so for a pass. Back post. Martinez was arriving. Couldn't catch up. Chicago causing their own problems playing out of the back, but that is what this development pathway they have is all about, and they present the opportunity to Carolina Core to try to capitalize. Tatuvant, so skilled in tight spaces. He's able to evade two defenders. Martinez is there, but had to check his run, and that caused a slight mistiming of things. Carolina Core on the front foot early. See Chicago Fire week in and week out with one of the youngest starting lineups in MLS Next Pro. They got 10 teenagers in the starting 11 today, 4 current academy players, including Emiliano Chavez at left back, making his first professional start. It's a stark difference for Carolina Core, one of the independent clubs in MLS Next Pro, who can sign older players and don't have to worry about first team development, as they are the first team in town. They start 3 26-year-olds, a 27-year-old, and a 29-year-old Mohamed Diakite. Just a much different look, and it provides a great challenge for these young Chicago Fire players who have been up to the task across this season. There has been some inconsistency along the way. Darius Height, one of the breakout stars, number 57, trying to get some touches at the edge of the area before he's crowded out by that Carolina defense. Tatuvant checks deep, receives and turns to drive at that Chicago back line. Aguirre restored into the attacking midfield position. His second start of the season. He works in tandem with Sumo on the right. Christopher Cups, all of a sudden the senior member of the center back partnership for Chicago today at just 17 years old. He did well to head away that last cross and is able to see Tatuvant away as the ball trickles back into the hands of the 16-year-old goalkeeper, Jason Nemo. Just the third start of his professional career. Talking to Chicago Fire assistant coach Mario Barcena Saez, he said that Nemo, who's a player he has coached previously with the under-15s and under-16s in Chicago, is one of the most highly rated prospects at the club, one that is certainly known for producing a lot of good goalkeepers through the years. Nemo very much the next man up in that category. Said he had some understandable nerves in his first game on the road against New York City FC. Gave up 2 goals in that one, and then in the return to Chicago last weekend, gave up 2 goals again against Crown Legacy, but the Fire came out on top. One of the standout qualities of Nemo is his ability to play with his feet, so that is certainly something to watch for as this game continues and Chicago tries to build out of the back. Hugo Berg goes into the feet of Heights. Bolts couldn't hold it up. Rainbolts. Tatubon. Born in Paris, Arnaud Tatubon. He played collegiately after starting his pro career in France, up the road at UNC Greensboro. You can tell the difference that he's made on this Carolina core team since he signed on April 1st. He's got 3 goals in his 5 matches. And the way that he links play has really stitched together the front line. Second that you're sure he's going to pass it, he creates opportunities for himself. He is a deadly finisher when he does get those chances. Martinez creating an overload on the right side. Sumo dispossessed by Berg. Gire. Back heel from Rainbow. Kaisa to the end line. It's a good ball across, seeking Anthony Sumo. Kalut doing the defensive work. Knocks it out for a Carolina throw. Taken quickly, Zaire Khan. Chance for Turdine to get some touches. He's been quiet in the early stages. Yet another one of the teenage talents. You look at the most highly rated prospects in the Chicago Fire FC Academy in terms of having a potential future with the U.S. national team, and 3 of them are in the starting lineup today. Christopher Kupp's Turdine is ranked as the 2nd best and in the top 50 overall in MLS Academy players. And then Nemo, the goalkeeper, also on that short list. Those rankings by the U.S. Soccer Collective. Kalut takes on Martinez. Slowed up by the right back. Now it's Pineda. Nagel. Turdine. Draws a little bit of contact. Referee pleased with the challenge. One thing that Chicago assistant coach Mario Barcena Saez told me about, he's very proud of the youth that the Fire have been putting on the field this season. But one thing that comes with can be some inexperience and some difficulty managing game situations. In particular, he highlighted the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes of matches. And although they've been on the back foot to start this one, they've been smart about picking their moments, staying compact, and just weathering this early storm from Carolina. Recent loss to New York City FC on the road. They conceded early on, and although they played well, they didn't give themselves enough room to get back into the game as Tatubon's header drifts a bit wide. Always asking a lot to trouble the goalkeeper from that kind of position. But again, the Frenchman proving dangerous.
This instant replay is brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery. Did you know the North Carolina Education Lottery...
Good pressure from the Foxes to force the loose pass out from Nemo. Toss back in for Aguirre.
Winning is just the beginning.
Nelson Martinez whips in across. Rainbolt was there at the back post, headed out by Chicago. Another cross comes in, this time from the left. Same result, though. Changed center back pairing, doing well in the early stages for the Fire. Cups and Berg. Holiday plays it out to Diakite. Great interplay from Carolina Core. Chicago escaping on the dribble. Damian Neek, naturally more of an attacker. He's played most of his career on the wing, the Swiss international. But transitioning recently to the right back position, you could see as he dribbled out of the back how that skill set can be super useful. Here he is, latching on to the flick from midfield. Meek chops inside. Bolts into the channel. Has height at the edge of the box, continues to dribble. And now the shot comes in, deflected, and out for a corner. Goforth Home Services is a proud signature partner of CCFC. Founded in the Carolina Core in 1959, Goforth Home Services is our region's trusted provider for your home services needs, including pest control, heating and cooling, plumbing, and smart technologies. Both of the outside backs from Chicago getting involved in the attack. Meek up the right, and Chavez sending in that last shot that deflected back for the corner. First opportunity from the flag for the visitors. Near post ball, Cups. Rather, Bolts was there. Thinks he could have done a little better with it. Had to stoop low, and it goes off of the defender in the end. So Meek can line up another one. Goes to the same spot. A little deeper. Initial clearance. Comes out to the edge of the box for Turdine. Height. It's a slight push in the back there from Halut. And a more obvious one as he continues the conversation with Mehdi Zerkan. Referee right on top of it. Flynn Pexenar trying to cool off the temperature in the early going. No need to dish out any cautions 18 minutes into the game. Statistically speaking, Carolina Core, one of the most physical teams in MLS Next Pro. Perhaps when you consider their age and experience profile, that's not overly surprising, but they rank in the top 3 in Next Pro in fouls per game, tackles per game, and in yellow cards. Impressively, though, they have racked up 28 yellows without receiving any straight reds. And it was only in the last match against Huntsville that they got their first red card of the season on a second yellow for Evers, who is suspended for today's match. A good spell here for Chicago. Generating a couple corner kicks. And now trying to keep it in the attacking zone. It's an ambitious touch from Neek, who runs it out of play. The early signs are that Mohamed Diakite, filling in at center back for Evers, is definitely up to the task. Here he is on the ball. The 29-year-old Ivorian midfielder and defender. One of the many players on this Carolina Core team who was playing semi-pro ball last year. Was playing with Apotheos and made an Open Cup appearance with Appalachian FC. Martinez with work to do. Halutz got that warning last time from the referee, and it wasn't a very subtle push there. And it's safe to say he got his second strike on that challenge from behind. So next one might see him enter the referee's book, but for now, he steers clear of any further punishment. Holtz tries to combine with Turdine. Awkward clearance, bounced off of a friendly Fox. Pineda, sweeping ball from left to right. Neek at the center of another attack. Bolts slipped as he tried to turn the corner. He thought there was some contact that caused that. Yepes will send it long. Tatouvan able to bring it down for Zerkan, who plays the ball into the corner, puts Rainbolt on his horse. Played it across early, where he thought Tatouvan might be, but the striker was trailing behind the play after that tough duel around the halfway line. Bolts going himself. One back by Zegers, the Dutch midfielder. Man down on the far side for Carolina Core. I believe that is Yair Kaisa. The all-action left back who started every match for the Foxes in his first season in the Carolina Corps. Able to get back to his feet and looks good to continue, but reaching the halfway point here in the first half. Maybe some legs starting to tire a bit. It is a warm evening here in High Point. About 82 degrees at kickoff. And the sun peeking out from behind the clouds. So glad that you've joined us here on MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. Kaisa. Zagers. Tatuvon is there. Seen him score from some tough angles already in his short tenure with the Foxes. Couldn't get his hips all the way around that one, but the striker has so much quality in his boots. A warning shot for Chicago.
This is brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery. Did you know the North Carolina Education Lottery now has Millionaire for Life? With the new Millionaire for
Nemo
Life,
trying to draw in the pressure so that Chicago can try to break away. Instead, they've given it right back to Tatuvon. Rain bolts. Back out to the Frenchman. Close down on the far side, and it's a corner coming. Or no, a double ricochet. Back off of the striker, and so goal kick for Chicago. Fire living dangerously at the edge of their own penalty area. Long ball out to nobody. Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist is proud to be the official healthcare provider of Carolina Corps FC. Picked off by Chicago. Halut with space to run. Steps over onto his left. And Yepes guided him exactly where he wanted him. It looked uncomfortable as he tried to dig out some kind of cross or shot. Now Sumo with the chance to run at the defender. 10 years his junior. Chavez stood up well. Sumo second on the team with 2 goals this season, the only other player besides Tatuvon to score multiple goals. Last time that the Foxes played at home against Atlanta United, he had the winner of Goal of the Week in match week 9 as he swings it out to the far side for Kaisa. Eyes on the end line. Well met by Damian. Nagel finds Turdine. Deceptive touch from Darius Height, able to draw in a biting tackle from Yair Kaisa. It's been a spirited battle early on. Height looking like he was going to run to the corner, checking short, and then flicking it around the corner with intention to turn. Kaisa not going to let that happen. Takes him down and sets up this free kick opportunity for Chicago. The 6'6" center back, Jack Sandmeyer, typically one of the main targets from set pieces like this. He's not available. But Berg is up there along with Cups. They send it low. Dealt with by Zagers. Would have been some numbers there for Carolina Core, nearly creating a 3-on-1 running the other way, but very important intervention from Chicago as they recovered defensively from the set piece. First time these two teams met, it finished 0-0 after regulation. We're on pace, but Nagel trying to change it. Neek bursting into space. Has height ahead of him. Backheeled into the box. Turdine poked out by Yepes. Once again, Chicago started with a dangerous build, but you can see the benefit when they are able to get out. Balut played that crossfield pass, and then there were acres for Neek to run into. Through the legs to Rainbolts. Waiting for help to arrive. Berg knocks it back off of the Australian, who doesn't know it now, but that will be a goal kick for the Fire. Clear pug back from Serkan. And that will draw our first yellow card of the match. Possibility starts at Skyla Credit Union. See what your money can do at skylacu.com. Great ball through from Pineda. Turdine nudged off of it by Martinez, who did well to not make too much contact, but do enough to keep the teenager off the end of that line-splitting pass. Pineda with great vision. Younger brother of the fellow homegrowns from Chicago Fire's Academy, Victor and Mauricio. Got his first professional assist in that match against New York City FC. Headed out by Chavez, only as far as Nelson Martinez. Fire refusing to press too high here on the road. Yet to win a match in regulation on the road for Chicago. This is their 5th time. Another look at the decision here. Martinez undercutting the defender. Those can be dangerous types of plays, and we're going to see a first half substitution. Mehdi Zerkan, the man who not too long ago received a yellow card, is coming off, and he will be replaced by David Diaz.
Presented by buildup. Entering the match is number 58, David Diaz.
Very interesting development there. Did not see any obvious injury to Zerkan, but Diaz certainly a dynamic replacement. He's got 1 goal and 1 assist this season. He paces Carolina in total shots with 21 on the season. But they play slightly different positions as well, so this may require a slight rejig from Donovan Ricketts on the tactics board. Zerkan typically playing inside as a midfielder, and Diaz often on the left wing, which is where it seems like he's started out here as he tracks down that pass out. And right into the action, Diaz, the Los Angeles native. Gets it out to Sumo with the overlap from Nelson. Played across. Very well defended by Christopher Cups. That is one of his standout traits, the positioning that often comes with years of experience. Is beyond his age of 17. One of many reasons that Chicago signed him to a homegrown contract last February. That will definitely change things for Carolina Core as this game progresses as well. One of the reasons that you don't often see those kind of standalone first half subs unless there is an injury is now that they have used another one of their substitution windows. You still get 5 substitutions. That rule has stayed in place, but you only get 3 windows to make them. You also get the benefit of halftime, though, so there could be some incentive to make another change at half. if they feel it's necessary. And besides that, they'll only have 2 chances to shake anything up later as Diaz gets to the end line. This cross over everyone's head as Damian works out against Tatouvan. Rainbolt joining in the pressure. Chicago calmly play out. Good step from Diakite. Heads it forward. Foxes win a throw in the attacking half. Bolts taking advantage, working against Yepes. All the way to the byline. Yepes stuck with him the whole way. His team so well matched with one another. What Coach Barcena said on the Fire side, he remembers the first match that they played out to that 0-0 score. And he said, you can tell that both teams play in a very similar fashion. They play as a team and they take their moments in matches. Here's a moment for Carolina. Rainbolt's touch too strong, but he's able to keep it alive and dig out a shot. Not much trouble for Jason Nemo. Waiting for this game to crack open. Height has the quality to do it. Picks out a pass for Turdine. Defenders trying to catch up. Halut back to Height. What a strike! Oh, Darius Height with his second goal of the season. Measured, controlled. The 17-year-old putting Chicago Fire in front. Sensational stuff. He's able to hide behind the defenders as it comes back from Halut. And it was Height's ball that starts off the whole attack. Turdine waiting patiently. Halut knew he couldn't make anything out of it. Height just opens those hips. A sweet, sweet strike. And a few words for the fans as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Chicago Fire FC goal by number 57, Darius Height, in the 40th minute.
Fifth straight start of the season for Darius Height. It looks like he will not be coming out of the lineup anytime soon. Able to put Chicago in front. Trying to pick up here where the first team left off. They are now final with a 2-0 victory over CF Montreal. And we also say hello and welcome to those who were watching that match and saw former Chicago Fire FC2 goalkeeper Chris Brady pitch a shutout. Chicago Fire up to third in the Eastern Conference in the MLS standings. And Fire 2 trying to climb their way up as well. They started the match week 10th in the Eastern Conference. For just their third win of the season, but as is typical in Next Pro, the standings very bunched up, especially this early on in the season. And so you string together a couple wins in a row, and you can quickly find yourself 5, 6 places higher than you were the previous match week. You're coming off a 3-2 win against Crown Legacy, who were previously unbeaten. Trying to do it here to Carolina Core. A lot of contact inside the 6-yard box. Chicago trying to double the lead before halftime. Another one of these key moments in matches that Coach Barcena was really focusing on. Those periods just before and after halftime. Critical that you hold an advantage in those phases. Whether that means scoring yourself or at the very least not conceding a sucker punch goal. Heights goes for the pass. Turdine gets it back to him. Height at the double. And stopped by Holiday, who sticks out a left boot in repute. How well worked was this from the teenage Chicago All-Stars? Turdine, as he's falling, manages a perfect pass. Gets stuck a little bit under the left foot of Heights. Corner for Chicago, near post header. And Holiday comes up in the end with a big time save there. Bodies flying. Height almost got on the end of it. Take another look at this one at the near post. Height between a couple of players. The header comes in. I think it's Halut. And Holiday heroically keeping it out. He's had a lot of pressure on his goal this year. The Charlotte FC loanee in between the sticks. Only one clean sheet on the season, and it came against the Fire. Last time they played in Chicago. Some lightsaber battles happening behind the corner flag here on Star Wars night. We're almost at intermission. Chicago have written the opening chapter. Holiday is tackled into his own net. And a yellow card for Hugo Berg for his part in that play.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. A yellow card has been issued by the referee to Chicago Fire number 62, Hugo Berg, of the 46th minute. I
think Berg, once he realized the contact was coming, tried to at least soften the blow a little bit. But wasn't much he could do to stop his momentum at that point. He's apologetic, but a deserved yellow card, as Chicago have about 30 seconds more of our 1 minute of first half stoppage time to try to take this lead into the locker room at Truist Point Stadium. Diakite in a tough spot here. He dwelled on the ball too long. Bolt strikes early. Another save for Holiday. Should Carolina Core get back into this match, this period at the end of the first half is one that they can look at gratefully with an eye on their goalkeeper. Into the 47th minute. Play on a few seconds more. Halftime whistle arrives from Island Pexanar, and we go to the break. Chicago on a stunner from Darius Height, lead 1-0 at halftime over Carolina Core. Coming up in our halftime show, we get to know a talented young player carving his own path in the Big Apple, and an announcement that will shift the landscape of Next Pro, plus highlights and stats after this brief timeout.
should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Buddy, there is no shortage of success stories in MLS coming out of the New York market. Another solid young player is making his way with NYCFC. So let's get to know Arno Arnos.
Welcome to Premier Life Skills University.
Welcome to HPU.
I think for sure was my mom. She was the first one to know it because she was working, and I sent her a message and I was like, please don't call because we have a meeting right now. But like I have to tell you, like they just told me like they want me to sign first team deal. So she was like, oh my god. Yeah, it was definitely my mom. Hi, I'm Arnau Farnos, and I'm a midfielder / winger, and I play for New York City FC. When I signed here with the second team, my goal was always to be part of the first team, and since the moment I got drafted, that was my goal, that was my dream. And nothing is easy, you know, so that's why you have to work for it. Every call-up is an opportunity. And I'm thankful for the coaches to give me those opportunities. But like, it's not about the games, it's about every day, how you practice, how you prepare yourself, physically and mentally. And when the opportunity comes, that you have to be ready and know that if you have the opportunity, you have to prove yourself. They push you a lot, which is a really good sign. But they also have a really good connection with the team, special connection with the players also, and they are open, which is also important for a player because it gives you confidence when you play and when you train. And he was always super close, coach and all the staff, and give me a lot of confidence to me. And that's why I feel like I'm super happy for being part of this team, for the confidence from the staff and also from the players. One of the things, for example, Nico always says when he's here is like, and I've took it from all the players as well, but like, you are doing what you like and what's your passion. So coming here to practice, you are privileged, you know, having this job, because you are doing something that you really like and you really can, you grow with it. And coming here every day, yeah, there is people working for you, for the treatment, they are cooking for you, and how many people would love to have and to be in the position that you are right now. So I would say just enjoy the moment, push yourself in the moment that you have to push yourself, and yeah, enjoy. Super excited at the moment when I saw the ball going in. I kind of didn't believe it at the beginning, but after it was like a happiness feeling, you know, especially after with all my teammates, like they congrat me at the end of the game, and everybody came to support me and saying congratulations, and it was a really happy moment and a special moment in my career. I think I had a lot of good coaches in my career. I would say probably when I was at Celta, I would say Claudio. But I would say my best moment playing soccer was the decision to make here and go to college. The 4 years at Oregon State with all the coaches I had and all the staff I had, they really helped me develop myself physically and mentally. And I think it was the step that I needed in order to be a professional soccer player. So I'm super grateful for the opportunity that the Oregon State gave me. Keep supporting us, keeping showing ourselves, keep coming to our games, because probably right now we are not having the best, we are not in the best moment of the season, but we're for sure gonna come back, and we're for sure gonna give some happy news soon to the fans.
Spread sentiment, flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still staying ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best, can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next, just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now. Oh yes, man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
The unique energy of a Sunday night. Ideal for calm music, whispers, stargazing, reflection, and a relaxed environment. Sunday nights were made for this.
MLS has agreed to a deal that will see global investment firm KKR make a strategic investment and partner with MLS Next Pro. KKR will inject capital into MLS Next Pro with an eye on growing the league and its footprint around the continent. In conjunction with MLS, the partnership will oversee commercial strategy as it looks to move the 27 MLS-affiliated Next Pro teams into new markets, with an eye on building brands within those communities and seeking stadium development deals. We will no doubt see and hear more about this in the coming seasons. Well, welcome back, everybody. We are at halftime at Truist Point Stadium. Carolina Core 0 and Chicago Fire FC 2 1 at halftime. As we take a look at the first half highlights from this match, highlighted by an opening goal from Darius Heights. There was some back and forth moments, though, especially in the early stages of the first half. Carolina Core was looking good early on. Play going through Kaisa on the left and getting the cross into Tatouvan, who was certainly threatening. He's a player who often comes to feet, plays it short, and then comes alive inside the penalty box. Here's the first opportunity of the game for Chicago as Halut bursted forward. Wasn't able to get a shot from the tight angle. Holiday making his first save, and that certainly would not be his last in the first half. But there was not a lot he could do to stop this goal as the buildup started with Height. It came back to him on the tricky backheel from Halut. And what a strike that was, planting it in the far corner outside the reach of Holiday. As we wrap up those halftime highlights, there was some more action with Nick Holiday called into action again, and what a goal this would have been if it had come off for Heights. Holiday standing tall in the middle of his net to deny him from close range, and then Chicago with 5 corner kicks in the first half, forcing another save out of Holiday. They racked up 6 shots in total, put 5 of them on target, and scored the 1 goal. Bolts was not able to double the damage. That was moments before we got to halftime, and Holiday was grateful that it was only 1-0 at the break. So here's a look at the upcoming schedule. Coming up tomorrow, we do have a couple other games happening tonight as well, but some Eastern Conference action. The all-New York matchup between the Red Bulls and NYC. You got Crown Legacy trying to bounce back after their first loss of the season came to Chicago in their last match. And then a nice couple of other matchups with Orlando and New England, Columbus and Philadelphia here in the Eastern Conference. That, of course, will be of intrigue to the Chicago and the Carolina fans. getting closer and closer to second half kickoff in High Point. We're going to take one more short break before we send you back out to the action.
Please turn your attention to the video board for today's first half match stats presented by Level Solutions Group.
Boys hear sentiment, flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still staying ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best, can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next. Just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now. Oh yes, man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Parker Johnson back here with you as we are counting down the seconds until second half kickoff, with Chicago holding a 1-0 lead on last place Carolina Core FC. We're still looking for their first win of the season, but they have been able to pull out some results. They've earned draws in half of their matches, nearly 4 on the season, with those 5 losses. And here is the grain of hope for the Foxes fans who are tuned in here. 3 of those 4 draws that they've managed this season have come from behind. So even though they trail here at the break, definitely know that this team has goals in them. They have fight in them, and they've been competitive in most of their matches this season, despite still waiting for that first win on the year. And one of the reasons that they've remained so low in the standings is that they haven't been able to get those penalty kick shootouts over the line as well on the times where they have fashion draws this season. Just 1 in 3 in shootouts, leaving 3 extra points on the board. That was the case the first time these two teams met. That game finished 0-0, with Chicago winning the shootout at home. And here, in their second meeting of the season, we know that won't be the scoreline. The only question is, how many goals will we see in the second half? Both teams forced into some changes from the start. A youthful Chicago lineup and a Carolina Core team that comes in without a few of their key defenders, including the suspended Nolan Evers, who picked up a red card in the last match. Then they had to make a first half sub as well, with Mehdi Zerkan coming off. He was replaced by typical starter David Diaz. Still unclear exactly why Donovan Ricketts had to make that change, but Zerkan was on a yellow card, so perhaps that could have played into it. In any case, what we can see is this is a team urgent to try to get their first win of the season. There is no time to waste. There is no time to wonder. And as we discussed in the first half, when Zerkan did come off, that limits their opportunities to make changes later in the game. I've just heard that Carolina Core made 2 more changes at halftime, and we'll get those to you momentarily. But for now, Sumo is certainly still out there. And he starts the second half much as he did the first, driving into the territory. That was a stinging shot from Tim Zagers. Nemo had to give it his all with the dive. Don't think he was certain that this was going over until it finally breezed past the crossbar. A good signal of intent from the home side. Starting the second half with positivity. But they've let Turdine sneak through. He's got 4 maroon shirts ahead of him. Just 1 white jersey for help. It's Damian. Defended by Diaz. There's Ricardo Montenegro finding Zagers, so that would be one of your halftime subs. Sumo. Palmed away by Nemo. Alive at the back post for Diaz. Top of the box, Montenegro kicks it back to Kaisa. Header from Tatsuma.
Substitution at halftime for Carolina Core FC, presented by buildup. Inside that. Entering the match is number 8.
Another look at that chance. There's a couple of shots. First from Sumo, who we've seen tuck it into the upper 90 with his left foot.
Presented by buildup. Inside that.
Chicago persistent to play it out of the back. That is the Greg Berhalter system that has trickled down from the success of the first team. But it will produce some momentary lapses, and when they do, it's big opportunities for the opponents. First corner kick of the match for Carolina Core. Tatuvant. Back post. Headed there by Diakite, who provides a great backboard to aim for. Whether he's able to place it on goal or knock it back across. On the other side, I think that is Corey Lundeen. Great ball in, free header for Zagers! Lundeen on as a halftime sub. Picks out his Dutch teammate, who tallies his first goal of his professional career. And Carolina Core even the score at 1. Another look at the delivery. Tatsuvant goes to the near post. Zagers set the initial screen and then opens himself up for the header. Very well worked from the Core, from the dead ball. And the halftime switch to bring on Lundeen, paying dividends as he records the assist.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
We do see fairly frequently in MLS Next Pro players scoring their maiden professional goals and assists. But it's pretty remarkable when you think about Zagers, a player who is 26 years old, who's got over 128 matches of experience in the Dutch second division. He's played nearly 9,000 minutes as a professional in the midfield, and he's never scored a goal until today. And what a moment for it to change. Diaz, back heels to Kaisa. Kept alive. Kaisa back on it. Diaz the option. Montenegro fired it in at Diaz. Tough one to control. Chicago want to try to take a breath and compose themselves. Lundin, what a way to come back into the lineup here. This is his first appearance of the season under Donovan Ricketts. He only made 7 appearances all of last year throughout the regular season, and then he was trusted to start in the playoffs as they were knocked out in the first round by the eventual champions, New York Red Bull. It's been a bit of tough sledding for Lundin, trying to get a spot in this team. One of the few holdovers from last season. Here he is, winning it back. Get off a bit more than he could chew with the shot attempt, but the crowd loving the start to the second half from Carolina Core. Great pressure. He goes after the first man, and then he continues and takes it from the second man. Adrenaline just spiking a bit too high as Lundin tried to send that one goalwards. Kaisa plays it into the channel. Diaz wins the corner.
Fans, get on your feet. We have a Carolina Core FC corner kick presented by Brady Field Commercial Real Estate.
And they make it 2 in a row here. It goes short to Diaz. Knocked across the 6-yard box. Sagers trying to carve out some space and take it down. Lundin on the far side. Served in! 2-1 Foxes! Mohamed Diakite with his first goal for Carolina Core, arriving at the perfect moment. Second assist in quick succession for Corey Lundin. Carolina Core have turned this thing around. Chicago have to do a better job clearing their lines. Diakite is right next to Montenegro as he knocks it out. Watch the run begin here. He sneaks into the box, and he arrives at the perfect moment. Keeps his header low, which makes that so much tougher for Nemo, and he commits. The desire to get on the end of the cross, the desire to get back in front. It's what Donovan Ricketts has been wanting from his team. Still in search of their first win of the season and finally back in front. And looking for more. Deflected behind. That will be a corner for Carolina Core. Just 14 minutes of game time elapsing on either side of halftime for the 3 goals we've seen. First from Chicago in the 40th minute. And then the 5-minute 2-pack from the Foxes as Lundin serves up another one. Diakite was ready to have a swing. And now on the breakout, Turdine in a foot race. He's tripped up from behind, and this is danger for Carolina Core. Kaisa to the showers. Clear as day. Even if it was accidental, he has clearly denied a goal-scoring opportunity. Turdine knew he was in a difficult race there. And the awareness from the 16-year-old to make sure that he got perfectly in front of the line of the defender and make it impossible for him to challenge for the ball without fouling has helped his team go up a man after conceding the go-ahead goal. Here Kaisa, the 20-year-old, who has started every match at left back for Carolina Core, already having used 3 of their substitutes and 1 of their substitution windows. We'll have to reconsider, but after they defend the free kick, cleared away by Tassouvent. You can feel the momentum completely change. The energy has been sucked out of Truist Point Stadium. First, the go-ahead goal from Diakite. The red card 3 minutes later. And now it's the goal scorer Height getting tangled up at the edge of the penalty box. Montenegro leading the man-down charge. As a proud sponsor of Carolina Core, Duderman Law Group knows the value of teamwork. With the Duderman team behind you, you'll have the power to win the injury compensation you deserve. Duderman Law Group, a passion for justice, the experience to win. Anthony Sumo Jr. is on the ground in the left corner of our shot, right at the edge of his own penalty area, beating the ground in frustration. We know that some subs were being prepared for Chicago as they try to adjust to the rapid shift in the tenor of this match. And now Donovan Ricketts with yet another challenge to try to solve. If Sumo can't continue, he would certainly be the kind of player you want to leave on in this situation. You need somebody to be an outlet when you play down a man. But first we'll get changes from Chicago. We'll do a double switch in attack. You see Halut and Dean Bolts coming off. And Tidiane Diawara, the striker, enters. He replaces Bolts. Diawara coming off of a mazy solo goal that sealed the match against Crown Legacy and put Chicago up 3-1 in that win. Milan Napoe, the other substitute who replaces Halutz, a like-for-like switch on the wing. Looks like Sumo is still trying to work out whatever is troubling him over on the far touchline. But running onto the field, that is Dominique Colon, the reserve left back, who has played just 9 minutes this season. Cross comes in, collected by Nemo. Colon very much the Band-Aid sub, as Kaisa, the starting left back, was the man who was sent off. Diaz, little bit tardy on the ball through for Tatsuvon, but did he keep up with it? Yes, he kept it in, and he drew a corner. Plays like that will be invaluable for these next 28 minutes as long as Carolina Core hold the lead. And they have to take advantage of these set pieces as well, not just for the rest and the chance to step into Chicago's defensive third, a chance to give themselves an insurance goal on top of it. Try that back post look for Diakite again. A little bit too strong from Tatsuvon on the delivery. Height trying to curl it around the back line. Draws the corner.
Corner kick, Chicago Fire.
Point University is the premier life skills university, attracting students from all 50 states and countries. Discover why families are flocking to HPU at www.highpoint.edu. Turdine stands over the corner for Chicago, trying to find an equalizer after taking the lead in the first half and giving it up shortly after the break. Simple stop in the end for Holiday. Taking as much time as he is legally allowed before scooping that one up and rolling it out to Diakite. The go-ahead goal scorer for Carolina Core, who scored on 2 set-piece plays, one straight from the corner and one on the second phase as Diakite arrived in for the header. They'll have to take a few of these kind of fouls. Happy to concede a free kick to Chicago in their own half as Cups gets it back underway. Damian. Beautiful service. The header wide from Jawara, his first look at goal since coming on. Tidiane Jawara, a handful up top. He comes over from the French 5th tier, where he scored 3 goals in 8 matches last season. It's been a slow entry to life in Chicago for the native of Evry. But talking to Mario Barcena Sayas, the Chicago assistant coach, about his new forward, he said that some of the time where he's been sidelined recently with injury, may have even helped him just in that adaptation process that takes some time when you're an international getting to learn the American game. When he first came over, we were still in the middle of Ramadan, and Jawara was fasting as he tried to get up to full fitness, which is certainly a challenge that many players understand. Took him a little extra time to find his rhythm, and then picked up a hamstring injury shortly after that. Real stop and start. Just 3 appearances before today. But he has a real opportunity with Chicago up a man to be the player to get them back into some kind of result here. Beat the first 2 players quite well, Jawara, but then conceded possession. Diaz doing the defensive work. He's got Tatouvan, who smartly holds it up. Long shot! It's a blazer! Dominique Cologne getting the crowd into it. Nemo coming up with a terrific stop. Some 30 yards out from goal. Headed towards the top corner, if not for the 16-year-old in the Chicago goal, who comes up a little gimpy. Keep an eye on how he looks. Carolina trying to get some numbers in front of him on this corner kick. 68th minute. Deep service that hooked out of play before it came back towards Diakite. Chicago with another substitution. And this is a very attacking move from Mike Matkovich. They bring on Damian Villanueva, the leading assister on the team this season, with 3. An attacking midfield player, and he replaces the starting left back Chavez. So perhaps 3 in the back now for Chicago. We'll see how that changes things, but fire up a man. More than 20 minutes left to go. Matkovich trying to make the most of this opportunity. Consider the swing for Chicago. After becoming the first team to beat Crown Legacy this season, they're currently in a position where they could be the first team to lose to Carolina Core. One thing that Villanueva brings is those services from dead balls. He took that first corner, and he'll get another opportunity here. Into the 70th minute, a 57th minute red card for Yair Kaisa, just after Carolina Core went in front. Villanueva, back post ball. Montenegro unable to connect with Lundin. Nagel surveying from deep. Damian has a run. Shimmies the hips. Trying to turn the corner on Diaz. He's been brilliant since he came on, David Diaz. An unexpected first half sub. But he worked his way into the game very quickly, especially with some of his defensive efforts. He's really supported this Carolina Core cause. Cologne standing up. Darius Heights earns a goal kick for Carolina. CIBC is the official wealth management partner of Carolina Core FC. fair bit more drama in this match than the Chicago Fire first team result earlier. A tidy 2-0 win they got over CF Montreal in the early window this afternoon. We welcome all those Fire fans tuned in after that one wrapped up. One other MLS Next Pro game going on right now besides the one here in High Point. So we'll see a yellow card offered to the bench of Chicago. Got CT United and Toronto FC2 deadlocked at 0 as we speak. But all the action has been here. Darius Height put Chicago in front 5 minutes before halftime. Tim Zagers leveling things for Carolina Core 4 minutes into the second half. Then it was Diakite who put them in front. Just 3 minutes later, the Core went down to 10 on a red card that simply had to be taken by Yair Kaisa. Robert Turdine of Chicago was home free, trying to counter away from a corner kick, and he was taken down as the last man. A clear red card decision. Both teams have made some substitutions since then to adapt to this new phase of the match. Lundin on the move. He has supplied both assists for Carolina Core. You're required to do a lot more defending from here on out, though. Great touch inside. Turdine. Top of the box. Looking for help from Damian. Overran it slightly, but is able to keep the ball in play. Heights. Knocks it off. Villanueva goes down. 1-2 with Tatouman and Diaz. And Core down a man. Have a run. Didn't make the most of it. Could Diaz have carried that a little bit further? They scramble their way back. Chicago come forward. Jawara lurking in the box. Villanueva as Zagers plays it long. Gave a little shove to the Chicago player as he knocked that out as well. Posing some physicality on the teenage Heights. Height sneaking through. The shot comes in. Nagel, who has been shifted out to left wing back. Looking dangerous off the edge. Villanueva has the short option quickly. Plays it to Heights. Pineda showing through the middle. Turdine is short. Damian squares up a shot, curling around the near post. Holiday had it covered. Took a touch somewhere along the way. I think it's out front here. Based on the trajectory of that, Zagers may have gotten a touch on it. Corner kick opportunities mounting for Chicago, who had a 5-0 advantage on that category at halftime. Working their way towards double digits. Villanueva onto his favored left. Villanueva. Concern now for Diakite. "14 minutes left to play. hesitant pressure from the Foxes. Don't want to commit too much of their physical reserves high up the pitch. Gonna have to dig this one out. Chicago patient in possession. Damian. Curling ball in. Beckoning for someone to meet it. First to it was Martinez. Out for a throw, which is taken quickly by the Fire. Hugo Berg. Damian. Possibility of a head injury here. There's frustration from Carolina, but their safety comes first in that situation. And it takes precedent over the potential for a counter. Here's another look at what happened. Keep an eye on the green boots of Turdine. Comes right off of his face at close range from Diakite's clearance. Those can be the worst when you're not expecting it. Sometimes people cringe at how soccer players are able to head the ball repeatedly over and over and over. It's a different story when you line up for the header and you brace your entire body for it. But when that ball unexpectedly hits your head and the muscles aren't there to absorb some of the shock, it can be much more damaging. So Turdine will get the full concussion check here. Valuable time for the Foxes to take in some fluids, potentially take in some information from the sidelines. It looks like one of the players is coming over from the bench and trying to relay some messages. That's Yepes, the Colombian center half. The right side of the Carolina core defense is what has become their standard pairing with him and Nelson Martinez, as Turdine able to make his way back to the sideline. And we'll get a concussion substitution here, so this will not count against Chicago's 5. And Mateo Clark, the Houston native, on for his 5th appearance of the season. The switch for Carolina core as they bring off their top goal scorer, Tatuvant. Will put in another strong performance. Able to find the back of the net, but he's done a lot of valuable hold-up play, especially since they went down a man in the 57th minute. He's replaced by a midfielder in Alenga Charles, and a fairly defensive midfielder at that. So this is the signal from Donovan Ricketts to batten down the hatches. It looks like Montenegro will be the striker in name only. He's the furthest man forward through the middle, but don't expect him to be making many runs ahead of the ball. Well met by Cologne. Mentioned the stability on the right side of defense. Well, the left is where the changes have had to come with the red card for Kaisa. Cologne in there, and Diakite starting at center back today for Nolan Evers, who was suspended. Dangerous delivery. Yepes was met with some contact. The yellow card is out. Still not sure who's going to get it. There was a interaction, seeing Yepes go down just at the end of that replay. It was he and Hugo Berg who were tangled up. But the only Chicago player in the vicinity to potentially receive that card appeared to be Darius Heights, who was involved in a couple friendly interactions, shall we say, especially during the first half, in the lead up to his opening goal. Play back underway. 8 minutes plus stoppage time as the Foxes try to hold out for their first win of the season. Fox is sitting very deep now. Chicago allowed to walk it well into the attacking half. They are met with 9 outfield players in maroon. Damian. And Nada. Berg. Able to win a corner. Throughout the season, 5 of Chicago's 10 goals coming into this match came from dead balls. Whipped in, near post. Punch from Holiday. Does enough to get it out in the direction of Clark. Napoe hits it back in. Height battling. Damian able to get it back. Pressure from Charles. Sliding in from behind. Didn't commit a foul, but didn't take the ball either. And now it's cleared by Carolina. Incisive pass. Jawara. Look at how compact this block is for Carolina Core. Not only deep, but narrow, trying to force Chicago out of the middle. They break through momentarily. Diaz keeps it in for a throw. Those are the little victories that go a long, long way at this point. Colon has been excellent since he's come in at left back. First real chance to play any meaningful minutes this season. Hasn't looked out of place one bit. Harsh on him because of the brilliant start to the season from Yair Kaisa, who has made that left back spot his own. But with Kaisa out for the remainder of this one and to be suspended for their next contest, which is on the road against Chattanooga next Sunday. there will be more opportunities coming Cologne's way. Zegers. Not able to win the throw as the Foxes scramble back. Fire mount the pressure. Taken in by Clark. Pineda can go for a stroll. Clipped in behind. Chase Nagel not able to get his cross back into the danger area.
Fans, stick around after the match for player autographs and photos.
It's a place where Carolina Corps have had so much success at Truist Point Stadium. 12-12-4 at home in their first 2 seasons. Yet to win a match this year. And naturally yet to do so at home either. Trying to give the fans something to rally around. They're in the 3rd month of the season, their 10th match on just 5 points. Last year started slow too, and they found their way into the playoffs. Crossed in. Good defending again from Carolina Corps. Height. Magnetized to the head of Diakite. He's been immense on both ends for Carolina Corps. Here comes the shot. Took a deflection as Holiday pounces on it. The deflection helps out Carolina Corps, and now some attention needed for the defender on that play, who may have gotten the worst of this shot. I think Zegers was the one pressuring. He slides in, and there's some contact afterwards, just incidental on the follow-through. Tim Zegers was the man who got Carolina back level in this match. They have had to battle. Coach Ricketts has had to adjust on the fly with a first half sub, a second half red card. And many changes in the proceedings here. The latest note is 8 minutes of second half stoppage time that this resistance will have to continue on Star Wars night here in High Point. It's been a battle for the ages. Once Zegers gets back to his feet, we will see the final stanza of this enthralling tale. So glad that you've joined us here on MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. Carolina Corps looking for its first win in over 8 months. Dating back to a result against Atlanta United last September. They backed into the playoffs and were dispatched handily in the quarterfinals by the eventual champions New York Red Bull. 19 new players this season after keeping a consistent group through their first 2 years in MLS Next Pro, and this independent club entering a new chapter.
Substitution for Carolina Corps FC. Entering the match is number 99, Grayson Whitfield. Leading the match is number 17, Ziegler. That's number 99, Grayson Whitfield. For number 17, Ziegler.
We have to remember as well the period before halftime where Chicago not only took the lead, but looked like they were going to score again. And I said at that time, let's remember these saves from Nick Holiday, who kept them in the match. So we get confirmation here that Zager will be replaced. And it's the professional debut for Grayson Rockhill, an academy product signed here to Carolina Core, who appears off the bench with the Foxes short on defenders. There's a loose man in the box, but it's over the head. I think that was Cups, who is free to take a few more risks down the stretch here, given the shape that Carolina Core have taken on, defending basically on the edge of their own 18-yard box for the past 10 minutes or so. Chicago went to 3 defenders, added another attacker into the mix. And even those 3 defenders at times have looked like more than they really need. Neek gets it back in quickly. We will play at least 8 minutes of second half stoppage time. 5 of those to go, plus whatever may come after. Jawara. Pineda. Berg. Well won by Carolina Core. Throwing a muted fist bump from Nelson Martinez. He tries to contain his excitement, control his emotions, but that was a big defensive play from the former United States under-18 international. Long ball towards Diaz. Not many numbers forward for Carolina Core. Chicago's been up a man since the 57th minute. And they haven't scored since. Cut in and cut out. Another clearance from Diakite. Onto it is Napoe. Cups in the box, playing striker now. Curled in and met by Yepes. This is a throw for Chicago, which they will send back in quickly. Height. Tiptoeing along the touchline. Berg in support. Looking for some service. Back post ball. Man going down. Foul against Clark. That'll be a free kick coming out for the Foxes. Holiday given a yellow card for time wasting. There's a second ball on the pitch, and I guess for his lack of effort in removing it, and therefore delaying this restart, he receives a yellow card. Just over 90 seconds left of the given 8 minutes, but we may go even further beyond that. Anywhere will do.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. A yellow card has been issued by the referee to Carolina Core FC number 1, Nick Culver, the 96th minute.
Pineda. A little bit of pressure from Montenegro. And now from Charles. Oscar Pineda advancing. Damianic. Out to Napoa. Pass one. Cuts it back. Jawara can't get it out from under his feet as it's cleared by Carolina Core. Less than 30 seconds left in our 8 minutes of stoppage time. Beautifully done by Nelson Martinez. That takes us to the 98-minute mark, and now it is up to Island Pexinar. There were a couple of stoppages during this added time. Carolina Core have almost seen it out after coming from behind, down a goal, taking the lead, and then promptly going down to 10 men back in the 57th minute. One more chance for Chicago. Knocked in for Nagel. Still we play. 99 on the clock. Villanueva. Holiday falls on it. And now he can take his full 8 seconds to send it long. Into the 100th minute we play. Is there one more moment for the Fire? Nagel on the ground, looking for Pineda. Cries for the whistle from the crowd. Napoe wins a corner, and surely this is the last one. Damian going short. It's back to the Swiss. He strikes! And after 245 days, order in the force has been restored in Carolina Core on Star Wars night as they defeat Chicago Fire with a 2-1 result, digging it out with 10 men for over the final 30 minutes. All the credit goes to our man of the match, Mohamed Diakite, who not only put in a flawless defensive display, but he also scored the game-winning goal. It came on the second phase from a corner way back in the 54th minute. After Carolina Core had equalized shortly after halftime, he put the Foxes in front and did it in front of the fans. Mohamed Diakite filling in at center back tonight, making an impact on both ends, and he is our Adidas player of the match. What a win for Donovan Ricketts & Co. Their first full 3 points of the season, and it has been a blast to bring it to you. So for our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, my name is Parker Johnson. Our final score is Carolina 2, Chicago 1. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at mlsnextpro.com and OneFootball. Have a great rest of the night, everybody. We'll see you next time.